Hello. My name is Joe.
And I work in a button factory. One day, my boss said, "Hey, Joe, are you busy?" I said, "No." He said, "Push this button with your left hand." That little childish thing was taught to me by the Shunkies, Mike Sr. and Mike Jr., and I recently found out neither of them are on the Facebooks.
Oh.
Because I had run across a shipmate of Mike's, and I had heard a story about Mike I had never heard before, and I wanted to share it with him. And when I went on the Facebooks, he was gone. He wasn't there anymore. It was
Just
quite
living his
upsetting.
best unposted life.
Are you ready to light this puppy?
Set it on fire.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. The T-bone.
And chick brew.
Let's God bless. All these years, just get it right one time.
What do you want from me?
40 years they've been trying. You couldn't fire somebody if they were horrible, doing a terrible job for the veterans. And now you can say, you're fired.
Okay. No one listens to radio.
And now for a quick disclaimer. The T-bone
And chick brew.
show is brought to you by nobody. We have no sponsors.
The show is still rated G.
For Glorious. Hello, my friend. Hi, how are you?
Pretty good. How are you?
I am good. You disappeared temporarily,
I know, and it's good.
but now you are back.
With a slight delay, I think.
Yeah, and, you know, our listeners understand that we are thousands of miles apart, and we run into some technical difficulties sometimes. I tried to ask you last episode about what kind of internet speed are you pushing over there? What you probably got the movie star. You probably got what is your preferred Spanish internet provider?
We actually have a weird something from a British company, but I'm also in the attic, which is probably the furthest away from all the internets.
I thought you got yourself a little amplifier thingy.
Yeah, it's so for it to reach the internet, to reach the router, it has to be on the middle floor, but I'm convinced that the attic is actually just a black hole. I don't know what happens, but I seem to be running fine. I mean, it's 153.8 for downloads, and for uploads, it's still registering.
Where do you find that
But it
data?
looks like
What
it'll be
did you
about
do to pull
15.
up that data?
Speed test by Ookla. O-O or Ookla? I don't know. We use it at work to discern that the internet on base is terrible.
Speed test by Ookla. Yeah, there we go. So I guess this is an app that you have to download.
No, you just click go.
All right. Oh, yeah, look, go. And it's going to tell me that so 170 is where it's got us at. 160 download, and then the upload is still trying to figure itself out. And what did you say your numbers were?
You're breaking up.
Yeah, that's the problem. So I am 161 on the download, and 24 on the upload.
What was your download?
My download is 161.
And you're 24 on upload?
24. I rounded up to 25 on 24.84 on the upload.
It's really not that far off. I'm at 153.58, so 154, and my upload is 16.
Interesting.
I was expecting a larger gap, to be honest.
So I have, not knowing that this speed test thing existed, I bought another antenna that I haven't even connected yet, but it's supposed to, do more to give me better. I don't know what we got to do. For anybody out there that's a computer geek, that's a listener, if you know what we're doing wrong or what our numbers should be or what we need to do, I just want a quality product. I'm not trying to, I don't like when I have to edit so much of here we are right now. Let me look at this. Right now we are 6 minutes in, and I'm going to have to edit about 4 minutes of that out because it's just me, just like, and no one wants to hear me thinking out loud, except the Taney family. Apparently they like to hear my musings of me just being redonkulous, just going up. So funny because the episode that I did not properly edit, I released, and there was some bad stuff, and I had to, of course, quality control. I listened to our own episodes, and I listened to this episode. I was like, oh no. And I'm far away when I'm listening to it. I was like, as soon as I get home, I got to fix this. I got to fix this as soon as I get home. So I did. I chopped it up and it took out the bad words. And then Mr. Taney jumped on there and was like, me and my family really enjoyed that. I'm like, well, that's off brand. We can't be doing that. Speaking of brand, did you look at the designs I sent you?
No.
Oh, thanks.
I didn't realize that that's what that link was. I'm a bad person.
I'm not sending you spam. I mean, if I'm contacting you outside of show hours, it's obviously show related.
That's obviously, you've been hacked. That's the immediate thought. This isn't him.
So last episode, we started talking about opening up our own merch store, and some of the conditions of opening up that merch store was going to be a discount for our listeners and free shipping. Neither one of those things I could figure out. So I dropped the profit margin, the percentage of the profit margin. So all of these things are set to get 50% profit, but I couldn't give free shipping and I couldn't give discounts to our listeners. So I dropped the profit margin all the way down to a mere 10% of the item's cost. Now, understanding that we've opened it up to our audience, that if you have a design that you want to see, we will make that design. We will put it in the store. And we'll put our hashtag on it, of course. We'll make the design. We'll put it in our store, and we will sell it. And if it is popular, if it sells, we will give you a percentage, half of the profit that we make. But understanding the profit that we make is very, very small. So if you make an awesome thing that you want to have and you sell it for a price point, and we're only collecting 10% of that, and then we give you 50% of the 10%, understanding
three pennies.
Yes, it's not going to make anybody rich. It is not the Mega Millions. And the Mega Millions has been won, and it has not been won by me. How do you know this? Well, because I'm here.
Otherwise, you would have just come over to record.
No, I wouldn't record anything. I'd be ghosting you. I'd be ghosting everybody, disappearing.
You would have even texted me, been like, I'm sick, I can't record today.
Nope.
I would have just been sitting here.
I would be the
I
most
will wait 45
inconsiderate.
minutes.
I would be the most inconsiderate billionaire. You, my family, nobody. First thing I'm doing, we've already discussed, changing my name. I already got this all planned. I'm going to go to the attorney, going to change my name. Going to go to the wife, going to get her name changed too. I never thought about that. Never thought about what my wife's name change could be, but it would be something amazing. She would...
I know exactly what I would do if I won the lottery, and I would not do any of those things because it just sounds like a lot of work. I would just do the same thing, but slowly fade out. I would go to work.
Why?
Continue with the reserves. Because if you're just doing the same thing, that is so inconspicuous. You're just doing and do the minimum and just, yep, I'm here. Just punching my clock. Do. And then, be like, oh.
Do you have your hand on the computer?
Oh.
Thank you. You have a computer that needs to be grounded so that we don't hear the interference. All right, so you're getting up and you're going to work.
If it's unplugged, it's not making the sound.
Interesting. Do you have a full charge?
Nope.
Then I wouldn't have
So in we go. You said that, and I was like, oh, I wonder if I am actually. I am. Turns out I am.
So you're going to get up.
Terrifying.
You're going to go to work. You're going to do you're a billionaire. We're not talking. Yep. We're not talking like a lucky scratch off. You got $1 million. We're talking billion.
I'm not changing anything. Not forever, but just long enough to be like, oh, you know what? Actually, I'm gonna quit because I'm gonna do this instead. I'm gonna go back to school, and then I'll do that. I'll do whatever I want, but it will be a slow fade out, and then no one knows. I'm not buying an island. Well, maybe I will buy an island.
So in the state I currently live in Pennsylvania, they have to release the name of the winner. So they got to release your name. So I can't go to the local lottery office and collect it anonymously. I have to collect it under a name. So that's why, number one, changing my name. Because anybody who ever knew me is all of a sudden going to need money. And I don't feel like...
I won't need money.
Yeah. You will be one of the few people who may know my new name.
You just keep your name posted as T-Bone on all the things, but I won't need your money. That's not why I love you.
Okay. You say that now, but, how many billionaire friends do you have? Exactly.
I know a few millionaires, but I don't ever need their money either. I don't need it.
You are going to do the gradual ghosting, and I'm doing a no-kidding Irish goodbye immediately. I am popping ninja smoke. I am disappearing into the wind. So, me and Boss Lady, we're talking about this, and like, we're going to keep the house? Like, yeah, we're going to keep the house. It's a beautiful house. Why wouldn't we keep the house? I got enough guns to protect us. I could hire a security team if I had to. There was talk of an in-ground pool. We live here in Enola. We live on a hill, and the backyard that we have, we only have use of like 3/4 of the backyard because our property line extends farther out, but there's a ravine that takes you all the way down to a creek. Yeah, crick.
Most definitely.
I mean, the thought of building that extra quarter of our land up to being something usable has crossed my mind. But then again, the price of that would be cost prohibitive, as they say. Speaking of cost prohibitive, when's the last time you painted something?
Why can't you just make the ravine part? Why can't you just make that the deep end?
Because it'd be like 50 feet deep. That's why.
I'm into it.
Yeah, it's a very steep ravine. The level
it's an
portion,
infinity pool drop off.
The level portion of our backyard to the creek, if you will, is probably 80 feet. It's a substantial. It's so. Let me tell you how steep this is. One day, the wife saw some tulips on the other side of the fence, on the ravine side of the fence. So she went around the fence and she went to grab some of these tulips so that she could replant them, and then found herself flailing viciously trying to get back up the ravine. I took a picture of it because it was tickling me so much. Because she's alive, because she's safe, it's funny to think about. But there's this giant dirt angel that where she tried to get back. She eventually was able to get back up the hill, and she brought a couple of tulips with her, but it's this very, very steep ravine. Anyway, when's the last time you bought paint? I know you painted the thing underneath your stairs. You made the little Harry Potter thing there.
Yeah, I painted the guest room too. I have to buy paint in America soon, and that is a daunting task. That sounds expensive.
It is unbelievably expensive.
Do you think I could put paint in my check bags?
Oh, you're going to get you some Leroy Merlin and take it back to the States with you? What are you painting in the States?
An apartment.
Why are you painting an apartment? It's not yours.
It is mine.
Explain.
The apartment in New York.
Yes, is an apartment.
It's mine.
You own this apartment?
Yes.
I did not know that. I thought, because apartments, by definition, the word apartment is something that you lease.
But not in New York.
Nope, not going to do it. Not going to go there. Okay, so you own an apartment in New York.
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know you had that kind of money.
I don't, which is why I'm painting it myself with smuggled paint from Spain.
Has it been positive income since you've had it?
Nope.
Oh, that's not good at all.
It's just ours.
So why don't you just get rid of it?
Nope.
You have an apartment in one of the highest apartment places.
It is positive income in the sense that it gives us access to America more frequently. It's halfway for my parents to us to my brother, and the amount of money we were spending regularly to go to the States for renting hotels and renting cars and all of that was totaling quite, you know how much it is when you're not staying with your family. It's so expensive.
There is no way owning
It's
an
an
apartment
investment.
in New York
No,
City
it's totally fine.
is equal to the transient cost it takes to come back to the States. First of all, we're only 3 hours away, okay? And I have plenty of room for you. And I will even go as far as renaming the Nina Suite to the Christina Suite. Wait, we don't have a Nina Suite here. We had a Nina Suite in Spain because she was the first guest to stay in that suite. So yeah, this could be the Christina Suite. We will. You don't have to own
What
a
am I going to
freaking
paint?
apartment.
What am I going to paint? If I don't have an apartment, what am I going to paint?
The Christina Suite could use a paint. It could use some painting because it's blue. It's got the remnants of a children's room in there. There's little dinosaurs on the wall. The outlays.
That's just the way I like it. No, that's exactly what I want in a suite.
Well, then it stays the Christina Suite. You just have to occupy it. Get rid of the expensive apartment in New York City. Get the profit while you can. How much did you pay for it?
I'm not telling you and everybody all that. It's not that bad.
It has
really
to be
not that
bad. It's an apartment in New York City.
I've paid more in rent.
This sounds like a drug deal. All right, I'm done. I'm done with this. Anyway, if you have to buy paint here in the States, you're going to pay a pretty penny. I couldn't believe how expensive paint was. And then to come home and find that the paint that I needed, the previous owners of the house kept all of the paint that I needed. And there was paint. Yeah. So I spent that money unnecessarily, but I will
Did you have your
say
receipt?
I had a good time. Why did I have a good time? Because as I was pulling into the Lowe's parking lot, there were dogs everywhere. And I actually stopped and I rolled down my window. I was like, hey, why are there so many dogs here? And the guy said, oh, no. He lied. And, I pulled up and me and Zeus got out because me and Zeus are going into Lowe's. And we
can take your dog into Lowe's?
Yeah. You can take your dog just about anywhere in the States these days. So I take Zeus into Lowe's. And as we were walking in, the guy who lied to me was in a circle of dogs and they were doing some obedience training. I get in, I return the things I needed to return. I pick up the paint I needed to buy, realizing I had forgotten my credit card. Go back out to the car, get the credit card. And as we go back into Lowe's, we are now at the tail end of the procession of a dozen different dogs all going into Lowe's at the same time for obedience training. So we're the 13th dog. And Zeus is like, I did not sign up for this. I don't know what's going on. I'm not a part of that crew. So then we veer off to the return section, and I pay for the the paint with my credit card, and we leave. It was a good time. I just I didn't know this was a thing that people did, that they did obedience training in large groups with dogs in hardware stores.
I didn't know that either, but I never wanted to go to a hardware store more in my life. The other day, I was taking the bank bag from work, and we drop it over at La Plaza, and there was the tiniest Spanish man, like definitely an abuelo, with this massive Rottweiler. And I was like, can I pet him? And he said, yes, please. He loves it, and I'm tired. So there I am, just petting this big old Rottweiler. He was so beautiful.
The thing about Rotties are they are a beautiful dog. And properly trained, they're amazing pets. But because of their history and dog fighting, they're very scary looking animals. But
no, teddy bears.
They are just giant teddy bears for the most part. And Zeus gets along with Rotties. Zeus gets along with all dogs except, want to take a guess?
Chihuahuas?
Huskies.
They're too loud for him?
Freaking Huskies, man. No, when he was a puppy, he got in a fight with a Husky, and he has never forgotten that. He has never forgotten that those blue-eyed bastards tried to kill him when he was a puppy.
I remember, like, growing up, the Fishers down the street, they got a Rottweiler, and the rest of the neighborhood lost its collective mind. That's a dangerous dog. Dog name was Bentley, and I was not afraid of him at all. And he gave the best snuggles in the grass. And eventually, the rest of the neighborhood came around, which I thought was inconvenient because it impeded on my time with Bentley.
I had to get paint because, and again, I didn't have to get paint. There was paint here in the house. I just didn't realize it. But I got it just in case so that I could redo the stairs. The stairs leading from the first floor down into the basement. Beautiful, big, wide, great stairs. Great basement stairs. You know, when we were testing other houses, when we were trying to find a place to live and we went into these different houses, a lot of the stairs leading into the basement were precarious, to say the least. Dangerous.
Murder stairs.
Yeah, they were definitely murder stairs. The kind of stairs that you start walking down and someone pushes you down the rest so that they can collect
don't have
your
like
insurance.
a back on them. You can like see through them and they're like unfinished.
Those are the stairs that we saw in many, many houses. But the ones we have here are finished, and they were very nice, but they were painted white. And on top of each rung, there was a rubber matting that over the years had started to deteriorate. And if you walked up the stair and you caught it the wrong way, you would rip the rubber matting. So as a surprise to my esposa, Handcuffs, yes. I ripped up all of the rubber matting. I repainted all of the stairs, and I put down carpet matting on each rung. That was a task. It came out really nice, but that was quite laborious. I should have stopped and offered the work to a couple of Mexican dudes that I saw there outside of Lowe's. I'm sure they would have done a better job than I did, but I am proud of the work that I did.
I'd like to see a picture of these stairs.
You will. I'm not posting it until she gets home. She's away for the weekend. You
can post it on the fan page. She'll never see it.
True story. But I wouldn't want to.
That's like the safe place.
I wouldn't want to give away the details of this episode until I post this episode, which is going to be 2 weeks from now. So if you have patience,
absolutely tease it with this picture of stairs.
If you have patience. Speaking of which, I want you to go into the Lindsey swag store.
I did. That blanket looks delightful.
Right? So, ladies and gentlemen, we have talked about it, and again, we will design anything you want, and just put our little tag on it somewhere. But we'll design anything you want. We'll put it in the Lindsey swag store. You can buy it there for a very, very, and if it's your design, you automatically get a 5% discount.
You know what I want?
What do you want?
I want a baseball button up that says Lindsey on the front and says Chick Brew on the back.
I will see if that's available. I will.
I would also like one that says T-Bone for you.
Okay, I will get on that. I will try to make that happen.
And then people could order their favorite T-Bone or Chick Brew, and then everyone will know. And then we'll be able to prove that I am the favorite.
I hate you so much. We did this once when we were on the radio, and it did not fare well for me, even though I had to cheat. We had done something where Facebook, we reached out and said, hey, who do you like more, T-Bone or Chick Brew? And the votes were coming in pretty strong for Chick Brew. So I started cheating, and I got caught cheating, which, I mean, it happens. I pardoned myself. That's how that went down.
Nailed it. Very diplomatic of you.
Yes, I will look at adding that to the store. So you like the blanket? The blanket is the piece design, right? So anyone out there who's got the little homophobe gene going on, remember that long before the LGBT... Yeah, long before the alphabet people adopted the rainbow flag, it existed prior to that as the Pace flag or the peace flag. The rainbow flag in Europe has been known for peace for a very, very long time, and it's been co-opted, if you will, in the States to become a different. But anyway, I used the Pace flag.
You go with.
I used the Pace flag to design the colors are in order. Of course, purple being my favorite, and the other colors on the Pace flag are of the rainbow, and that's what you see in the fleece blanket.
That's quite an explanation for... I like the fleece blanket.
Well, it's one of my favorite designs because it's Lindsey, and then underneath each one of the letters in a different color. You can get it in black and white or you can get it in color. But underneath each one of the letters explains what Lindsey is. And I think that is a design people might enjoy.
I think so. I thought it was delightful. I like the little pop of color. Now I know it's a Pacha flag, but hey, I liked it all the same before. As an alphabet person myself, I'm not a huge rainbow person. Like, personally, like, it's just, isn't appealing color wise for me. I don't like fashion my clothes or anything. Not my thing. But I did like it. I liked the little pop of color.
I am only a rainbow person. Like, only the colors of the rainbow. The moment other colors start coming into the flag, I am not down with the other colors. I am only the rainbow colors.
And so many questions, but we are not going to get into it today.
You know what I would like to get into? It's time to talk about cooking.
And tonight prove one thing. You know all.
I am going to let you go first, as I always do in our Talk About Cooking segment, but I got a fun one for you. You go. Tell me what you've been cooking this week. What's going on there, Chef Christina?
I will say I have not been cooking much this week, but last night, you remember Hutch from AFN here?
Yeah.
We were celebrating his marriage. He got married, and we were having a little party. The AFN crew came together and did a little barbecuing.
Oh.
They put their whole foot in it. It was fantastic. I even liked the chicken.
What?
And I don't even like chicken.
You don't like chicken?
Was so good. They did a fantastic job out there. Tonight, I'm probably going to make like a Philly cheesesteak or something.
Oh.
Which is less awesome than the barbecue, but I also have been craving it.
I was not craving a Philly cheesesteak until you mentioned it. Now I am.
Come over.
Yeah, right? It's just around the corner. Why not?
You billionaire.
No, you would not be having this conversation with me had I been a billionaire. Gone.
I just assumed that you would show up and the neighbors that I like least, their house would be like bought and sold, right? You would have just moved in and been like, no, I'm back.
I don't know if
they have a nice pool.
Oh, do they?
We do.
There's some really nice properties out there in Puerto. There's some really nice properties. But I loved being centrally located in Rota. I really did enjoy. Everything was in walking distance. Even the base was in walking distance. I enjoyed living in Rota. And just to get to Puerto, if we were to come back, I don't think I have a choice. I think we're getting a place in Puerto. And it's going to be a McMansion. It's going to be really nice. And this is not just being a billionaire. This is just being a government employee, because the amount of money they give you to rent a house there, you might as well put some time and effort into it. Anyway.
Philly cheesesteak.
Yes. I did something I've never done before.
Did you grill corn?
I cooked chicken wings in the Instapot. OMG! Exclamation point times 3. This is all it was. Chicken wings. Boom. Dumped them in there. And a cup of water. And inside that cup of water, a spoonful of garlic. Number 1, fall off the bone. Amazing fall off the bone chicken wings. Number 2, infused with the garlic. Absolutely delicious. Did not need anything else. Just, I thought I was going to cook them in the Instapot to make sure that they were safe to eat, because, you know, chicken. And then I was going to grill them to give them the grill. Not necessary at all. They were... My mouth is watering. I don't know what I'm going to eat next, but as soon as we are done, I am eating something, whether it be a Philly cheesesteak or whether it be chicken wings, because I got plenty left.
I would have done orange juice instead of water.
Orange juice.
I love that like citrusy, with the garlic, or if you had some like ginger.
I was actually thinking the next batch that I cook, I was going to add some honey to the water. So garlic, honey. But wow, man. Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't own an Instapot, that
actually sounds really good. Orange juice, honey, a little bit of cayenne to make like a hot honey, a little splash of garlic. That would be really good.
Just to eat them like that, without any added sauce. Now I did, I got some Sweet Baby Ray's hanging around the house, so I did dip a couple in some Sweet Baby Ray's, and they were equally delicious. But I did not need the Sweet Baby Ray's because they were very delicious on their own. I will try adding a citrus juice. I will try adding honey, and I will post or share with the audience my amazing concoctions of chicken wings. You got to buy them at the Costco, though.
Oh, specifically.
Yeah, because they're so doggone expensive.
Fair.
Like nowadays, the going rate for a chicken wing at a restaurant is like $1.25 a piece. $1.25 for a chicken wing.
I'm glad I don't like chicken.
And then supply shortages and all this other nonsense.
I think that's all made up.
It is.
I don't think
probably
that's real.
is.
I don't think that's real.
That's how they're jacking the prices
The only
up on you.
the only reason I don't think that's real was because when everyone was like screaming, supply chain, living in Europe, prices didn't change for like some of the same items, you know? It didn't change. It was just happening to you guys, and that's sad for America.
They definitely changed it. Living in America. Yeah. Hey.
Oh yeah, no, I agree. They
Cross the
definitely
nation.
changed there. I was watching it, and I just remember thinking, like, is no one gonna say that they're lying? You're just gonna let companies get away with it? Oh, you are. Okay.
Well, I mean, if you say anyone's lying these days, they call you
There
a
was-
conspiracy theorist.
No, there was a very visual proof on the whole internet where you could look at the same company charging one price in America versus what they were charging in other countries. And, you know, it's a manufactured shortage. No one else experienced.
Just anything they could do to increase their profits. It's what they do. I mean, we understand that. It's all BS. But again, if you mention that it's BS, you're called a conspiracy theorist because even the government
I love
is
being
involved
a conspiracy
in this
theorist.
BS.
I love it.
The old Barbara Streisand, if you will. Hey, do you have any headlines for me?
I do.
And now it is time for headlines from around the globe.
I don't know why those are coming in so hot, but I got to give you a stinger, and then you give me a headline.
891 people make s'mores together in Texas to break a world record.
We have had this discussion before about world records and how ridiculous some of them are. And getting 891 people together to make a freaking s'more is honestly only 891. It's Texas. Okay?
Where was the rest of the 900?
The smallest town in Texas has got at least 892 people in it.
They only had 3 pickup trucks to get them there. And no one was making a second trip.
I don't get why that is a record. It is, I guess, a feat to get 891 people to do anything at the same time. But then again...
I mean, that's how we got the Pledge of Allegiance.
Tell me?
That's how we got the Pledge of Allegiance, so...
Tell me.
Oh, yeah, no, it was for the Chicago World's Fair. Got everyone together to recite a poem, and the best way to get the most people was to get kids at school to say it all at once. There you go. We just never stopped saying it.
I did not know this. And to my chagrin, if you will, most people don't even know the Pledge of Allegiance. They stopped teaching cursive in school. I'm sure they stopped doing the Pledge of Allegiance in school.
I don't really understand the Pledge of Allegiance or the need for it.
Well, I mean,
let's just start the day.
You're pledging an allegiance to a flag.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It's just a piece of plastic at this point made in not America. So, like, why are we focusing on it? It's made of polyester. It's recycled Coke bottles. And, like, most people don't even know anything about the flag.
Made in China.
Just go ahead and keep moving on. I don't feel like it's that important.
If you were going to set a record, what would it be? You have the option. You need 900 people to do it. It's not s'mores, but it's
We're obviously bringing dogs to the party.
Cupcakes. 892 people eat a cupcake at the same time.
What is the record for one person making cupcakes nonstop? That's me.
I think you might be in the running for that because you are a cupcake maker and your tiny little Spanish stove.
I think it's funny because whenever there's these records that involve like one person doing something, I'm like, I could see how that would be a record. But it's like you just got as many people as would show up to do something as simple as making s'mores all together. Like that just sounds like
well, it had to be like an assembly line. Like you had to go to each station to get your graham cracker, to get your marshmallow, to get your piece of chocolate, and
if I were putting that together, that's not how I would do it at all.
And then you need a stick because you need to cook a s'more, right? You don't just how do you do that? How do you make a s'more?
if it was that many people, I just put everything in a Ziploc bag, say make your s'more, wrap it in the foil, throw it in the fire. Everyone made a s'more. Like,
okay,
it's not even
it's
like
just,
that.
It's just me.
It's a s'more.
I'm
You
one
did- they did
person. I've never made a s'more. How do I make a s'more?
Are we mass producing s'mores?
Nope. Just me. Just me. It's me.
Oh, okay.
I'm a one person. I want to make a s'more. I've never made a s'more before. How do I make a s'more?
You're going to take 1 full graham cracker and break it in half.
Got it.
You're going to take 4 rectangles of Hershey's chocolate and lay it on top of 1/2 of the graham cracker.
Got it.
You will take 1 marshmallow and point it on a stick or a skewer, and you will hold it over an open flame. Could be a lighter, could be the stove if you've got a gas stove, doesn't matter.
Just the marshmallow.
Just the marshmallow.
Okay.
Once it has reached your level of charred,
I like
you
them
will
crispy.
extinguish the fire if it is still actively burning.
Uh-huh.
You will place the marshmallow on top of the chocolate.
Uh-huh.
You will take the other graham cracker, put it on top as you remove your skewer so as to not burn your fingers. And you've made a s'more.
I did not know that.
If you're making them in bulk because you have a bunch of small children and you are at a camping scouting event or something like that, you take your graham crackers, your chocolate, your marshmallow, your graham cracker, throw it in the sandwich, wrap it in foil, and you chuck it in the fire. It all melts. It's all gooey. You take it out after like 10 seconds and you hand it over.
I have learned something very valuable today. I have learned how to make a s'more. I did not know how to make a s'more. Speaking of things that are on fire and not one of the headlines you're going to give me. All right, everybody, this is me. This is T-Bone. This is a break from the norm real quick. Let me just say, at this stage in this recording, I was getting ready to go on a tangent that in hindsight could have been seen as insensitive to the tragedy that occurred in Maui, and because of that, I'm making an executive decision that I'm gonna eliminate that entire piece. And of course, nothing I said in that piece was intended to be mean or hurtful. But when you talk about comedy, you talk about tragedy plus time equals funny, or tragedy plus time equals comedy. But tragedy is not very well defined, and if it's one person that dies, you can make a joke about it that same day. If it's a couple of people that die, maybe you wait a little bit, but right now with the number of people that are still missing from the fires in Maui, first of all, there's over 100 already dead. It's America's deadliest fire. It's not something that should be made light of. Whether I wasn't really joking about the situation, I may have been joking about the experience, and as I listened to it in edit, I didn't like it, and I didn't think you would like it. So, yeah, I'm making that executive decision to pull that, and, I'm not like going to ask for a moment of silence or anything along those lines, but I would like you to just, kind of keep the people of Maui in your prayers or your positive vibes or whatever you can send out. There are still so many people missing, and, every day is a gift. I've been living that for a year on borrowed time, and I feel really bad about what happened there. So this is my apology. I'm sorry I went down that road to try to make some levity of it, and I'm proud of the fact that I'm pulling it. So if we go up a little short this week, we'll go up a little bit short, okay? Thank you for understanding. Thank you for being a listener. And even though you didn't hear anything I said, if I offended you in any way, I promise you I wasn't trying, and that's why I pulled it down. So with that being said, we're going to go on to our next headline as if none of this ever happened.
Cyclist rides 500 miles backwards.
Is it a record? Did he have
It is a record. Of course it's a record. There was not very many good headlines because we, 1, did not record that long ago. 2, the world is literally on fire, and the options were not so great.
I have a ton of headlines. I love the New York Post because the New York Post just gives you crazy headlines. There's a woman in Maryland
who got headlines that you don't like.
I'm not even going to go where I was going to go. All right, so guy rides backwards on a bicycle for 500 miles. That's a record. Yay. What was the previous record? 499?
How do you do that though? Like, it seems so dangerous. I don't even like to walk backwards.
On a track? I would do it on a
doesn't
track.
Look like a track. Maybe
Riding a bicycle backwards on the road. Well, first of all,
he's like, I don't want to say he looks stupid, but he looks a little stupid.
can you imagine doing that for 500 miles? It just no.
It sounds very boring.
It's like number of
Part of the fun of riding a bike is like the adventure onward and forward, and here you are like teetering with your head turned over your shoulder. What a crick in the neck. Like, it just seems so impractical. And again, as to your earlier claim, why is that a record?
why? So
Someone did it for 3 miles and someone was like, I can beat that.
I can beat that. You know, the one record that always got me was female fastest woman on the planet. She was in the salt flats. She was in a vehicle. She broke the record, which was her record. She broke her own record by going like 330 miles an hour. And she went 331 miles an hour. And then on the next one, she died. Beating her own record, she had a horrible accident and she died. You shouldn't do that. If you set the record, let somebody else break the record. And then once somebody else breaks the record, you go back and break the record. Don't tempt fate. Do not tempt fate. Fate is an evil mistress who will kill you over and over and over. I saw a headline of a Georgia woman who got caught in the Bahamas trying to hire somebody to kill her husband. Now, her husband is a man...
You said your wife was out of town? Did she go to the Bahamas?
The husband is a man of means. He has taken care of her, and he wanted a divorce, and she would have done well in the divorce, especially in Georgia. She would have done well, but wasn't good enough. She had to try to have him killed. And now, and I'm hoping for hope, she gets nothing but prison, in a Bahamian prison. I hope she spends the rest of her life just just living it up in a Bahamian prison. Because if you're gonna leave your partner, leave your partner. It is what it is. You don't have to kill them. You see that too often. Maybe I'm seeing it too often these days because, like, the TV is permanently stuck on Dateline. I listened to the other thing, to a preview the other day of a Dateline. They explained the situations like this happened and this happened and this happened, which seems normal. But if it was normal, we wouldn't be here. And I cracked up. I was like, that's a great promo. All right, so guy rides backwards on a bicycle for 500 miles, sets a record. Yay, you. No. How about we move on to...
I just want to know who comes up with these things. I just don't understand. But I'd like to know. What is it? What makes it worthy of a record? Because I'm pretty good at sleeping. What's the record for that? There's got to be a record.
So
that's a challenge.
We may have talked about it before, but the Guinness Book of World Records is appropriately named Guinness because it is named after the beer, the stout, if you will. It is something that came up in a bar, and it was a discussion between some drunk Irishmen about, I wonder what the thing would be, and I wonder who could do this, and I wonder how long that could last. And they just started with these stupid, it's just bar chatter. That's all it ever was. The Guinness Book of World Records was designed from bar chatter and just drunk guys just coming up with ideas about, I wonder how many potatoes you can eat at once. And that's all it is. That's all it ever became of it. And that's how it exists today. How about we move on to some learnings? Let's do some learnings. Everything is everything. What is meant to be will be. It is time for facts from the Book of Everything. Every week we bring you something from the Book of Everything that hopefully enlightens you, inspires you, educates you, and stays with you. If it's a good fact from the Book of Everything, it will stay with you. And if it isn't, well, it won't. There's that. All right, here we go. You recently visited the capital of England. And here is a fact for the capital of England. The capital of England, if you didn't know, is London. The London police employ 39% more people than the entire British Navy because they don't carry guns. You know, if you don't carry guns, you need bodies. You need more people, and they don't carry guns, so there's a whole bunch of them. 39% more than the entire British Navy just to police the city of London. You know what number one device used in London for killing people is?
Stapler.
Knife. Yes. They love to knife people there in the Englands. All right. Second fact from the Book of Everything, if you are ready, if you are prepared. In 1999, a 4-year-old girl turned yellow.
Jaundice?
Turned yellow after drinking too much Sunny D.
Yikes.
Yeah.
How much was she drinking?
How much Sunny D do you need to drink to set a Guinness Book of World Record?
Hold on.
Turned her yellow in 1999.
How much Sunny D do you have to drink to turn yellow? Okay, there's that first thing that popped up. In fairness to Sunny D, the girl had been guzzling an insane 1.5 liters of the stuff every day, resulting in a buildup of beta carotene that turned her yellow. That's quite a bit.
Isn't there a song called Yellow?
Yes, by the world's most awful band, Coldplay.
And something yellow too. Yeah. Why is Coldplay the world's most worst band? Why is that?
It's not that they're the worst band, but they're mayonnaise music. It's just not.
It's mayonnaise music.
Yes. It's fine, but it's not the greatest condiment.
I love mayonnaise. I love mayonnaise with hot sauce.
Yeah, but that's not just mayonnaise.
True. It's spicy mayonnaise.
You've created a sauce. Mayonnaise music is just like music that's there. It doesn't. Your life would not be better or worse without it.
That's a spicy mayonnaise.
It's fine.
Horseradish. It's just ketchup with
You're talking about cocktail sauce, which is horseradish and ketchup.
Yes.
Who doesn't love cocktail sauce?
I used that the other day as a salad dressing, cocktail sauce, because I had run out of shrimp and I had cocktail sauce left over, and I was like, well, I've got shrimp in the salad. Why don't I just put some cocktail sauce in the salad? And it was amazing.
I made my own horseradish sauce once, and I will tell you that was it was the best horseradish because it was so spicy and delightful. But if you make horseradish sauce, do not take the lid off of the blender and then go and look straight in while breathing or having eyeballs, because it's like macing yourself.
I would like to make my own horseradish sauce. I don't shop at Subway because Subway got rid of their horseradish sauce. But that used to.
Did they get rid of the creamy horseradish?
Yeah, years ago. And it's because of that I don't go there anymore. That and that they hired a pedophile to, market their brand. Little things.
Yeah, Jared. I worked at Subway. That was my first job.
Really? You were a culinary specialist? Sandwich artist.
Sandwich artist.
Yes.
You have to. Yeah, my boss Sharon. You had to take a written test, and you had to show her that you could by weight make the grabs. It was very intense. Sharon was quite.
So here in America now, Subway is as a promotional gimmick. They are touting their ability of cutting the meat fresh. This is their new thing. They cut the meat fresh to make the sandwich better. No, what you're doing, Subway, is making it longer. You're taking even more time, and I get it. If you've got Subways around the city and you're in America and you can order the Subway in advance and just go there and they'll deliver it to you, I get it. But if you're in a little place like Rota, Spain, and there's only one Subway and everyone takes lunch at the same time, cutting the meat fresh is not something that makes people want to go there. It's just going to make everything take longer.
How much is a footlong in the States these days?
$75, something like that.
Yeah. I do really miss the $5 foot long.
Well,
that commercial was so good.
Because we live in a litigious society where someone sued Subway because the foot long was 11.9 inches long, and they won the case. And then Subway's like, "Screw you guys! We had a good thing going on there with a $5 foot long because it made sense." And then you measured it on us, and now it's $75 foot long. How's that sound?
The best part about that is the bread at Subway comes frozen, right? It's it's already rolled. It only comes in white and wheat. All of the sprinkles are added right before you put it in the proofer. And they are a foot long. But when you proof the bread, sometimes the ends get a little stubby. Because it's bread rising.
Now, it's been a long time since you've worked at Subway.
Yep, but you can watch them make the bread everywhere.
I hear you on this proofer thing, but there's a lot more varieties of bread now. There's the white, there's the wheat, and then there's, like 7 different flavors.
Right. Asiago cheese, Parmesan oregano, all of those. Oh, and then like the seed oat. It's the white bread. You let it defrost. You put inside those little silpat that the bread is in, like those little grooves. You dump the sprinkles. The bread defrost. You put it in upside down. You put it in. It's the same bread. It's the same bread.
We are learning something today, ladies and gentlemen, that you are being lied to by Subway. Not only are their footlongs only 11.9 inches long, but all of these daggone specialty breads are just white bread with sprinkles.
Sprinkles. Sprinkles.
All right. How about we go to a quick commercial, and then when we come back, we'll do our birthday boost.
Hey everybody, it's T-Bone. Did you know you can listen to the Lindsey Show on the iHeartRadio app? The team at iHeartRadio has created 2 new features on the app. You can now auto-download to your device and be notified whenever new episodes are released, all for free using the iHeartRadio app. And you can listen to the Lindsey Show from anywhere. iHeartRadio. Discover music, radio, and podcasts you'll love.
I love that commercial. You should listen to us. And you're this deep into the episode, so it doesn't matter. You're obviously listening somehow. Every week, we acknowledge those people who have traveled with us around the sun one more year. So we've got a list of people that are celebrating birthdays. If they're super cool and we like them, they get this thing called a birthday boost. And if they're not super cool and we don't like them, they still get this thing called an honorable mention. As always, you go first.
All right. First up, Kresent Peters. Her parents are supporters of the show. Kresent is also an MC in the Navy, which makes her an immediate favorite.
And she's been on the show.
And she's been on the show. But the best part about, and I'm sure you've experienced this many times because you served in the Navy for quite a while, but her Master Chief is actually my mentor. And it's fun to have 2 very different experiences about one person because I never worked for him. So it's fine. But she may not know it, but a lot of people are very proud of her. She's doing a great job. But more importantly, she's a great person. So happy birthday, Kresent. Keep going.
We've been doing this show for several years. It's not uncommon for names to repeat when it comes, but we do our best to share the birthday boost with other people. And this particular week of our taping, a lot of the people have already gotten a birthday boost. So I've got to reach down into I gotta mix them up a little bit. I got to figure out who it's going to be. And this week it's going to be, I'm just going to say her first name. Linda, and you know who you are. And if you don't know who you are, girl, you about to find out who you is. Linda used to work for me years and years ago when we were together in Rota. Linda's husband came into some money, like some real money. Not necessarily a billionaire, but he doing all right. And when you come into money and you're an active duty sailor, you've got an option. And one of those options is to leave the Navy behind, which is exactly what Linda did. A New York girl, I love her to death. She's an amazing person. She's got an amazing family, and she is living an amazing life. So you, Miss Linda, last name redacted on purpose, I wish you nothing but the biggest and the brightest and the best. Happy birthday to you.
Next up, different family, but Kelsey Peters. All these Peters, oh my goodness. No, but Kelsey was a really good friend. Her husband was stationed here, Air Force. She used to go to TRX and Zumba with me. So when she was here, she found out she was pregnant with twins, right? She already had a daughter. She found out she was pregnant with twins, and well, we'll just say it's fun. But now I see online, these twins they're like full children. And it makes you realize how long it's been since you met or last saw someone. And I will say that I really do miss hanging out and giggling with Kelsey while we were failing to do every single choreographed step in Zumba. It has never been as much fun. and I have never felt more alone with all the missteps by myself. So happy birthday, Kelsey. I hope you and the family are doing fantastic.
So this person is a longtime friend of mine. He's a retired Mass Chief, Pete Yashenko. Pete is in the Facebook world. He's famous in Facebook. If you're in the right groups, Pete usually comes in like once a day and he shares this amazing piece of history or something. He does this really frequently on a lot of the Chief Petty Officer pages and stuff like that. So. And he's a former Master at Arms, so in the Master at Arms pages he posts some stuff. But he's pretty doggone famous when it comes to Facebook stuff. And I remember the first time I saw him, because he was a big guy. He was a muscular man. We were doing a Chief Selectee golf tournament, and he was standing up on the railings, and he called out to me, and I had never met him before. I was busy. I had a lot of stuff to do, and I didn't really have the time for niceties or to be polite to him. So he calls me out, and I, in typical fashion, I was disrespectful, not realizing who he was, and just treating him like every other chief there that day. But I enjoy Pete. I enjoy what he does on Facebook. Here's the thing. He says these crazy historical facts, but he doesn't cite any references. So recently, he posted a fact that the last shots of Desert Storm were fired by a battleship from the United States Navy. I don't believe that to be true, but he inspired me to do a whole bunch of research on Desert Storm, which I served during Desert Storm, and there are things that I have forgotten over the years and along the way. And I still haven't found out who fired the last shots, but I'm pretty daggone sure it wasn't a battleship, because it didn't make sense. It was a battleship firing into Kuwait on an oil it didn't make sense. And he doesn't cite any references, and I kind of gave up. So Pete, as always, I wish you nothing but the biggest, the brightest, and the best. And thanks for challenging me and making me learn new things on a daily basis. And now, on to your honorable mentions.
All right, honorable mentions. Richard Mikado, Lindsey Gutierrez, Charlie Taylor, Martha Palm, Steve Bond, and DeAndre Skinner.
All right. I'm pretty sure previous birthday boost recipient Al Katz, Hanna Lopez, and Fabiola. I believe all of them are previous recipients of a birthday boost, but it is their birthday week. Woody McAdams, I think I may have given him a birthday boost in the past. Jason Kugel, Bill Randall, Ken Mayo, and Eric Knowles, Maurice King, and Della Sway. All celebrating their birthdays this week from both of us, from me and Chick Brew. We wish you nothing but the biggest, the brightest, the best. Happiest of happy birthdays to you all. And that brings us up to the closing. You got anything else you want to add, promote, put out, post, anything?
No, but make sure you go get your Lunds B swag.
Yes.
Look for some baseball tees, and then pick your favorite host, and we'll determine.
We haven't made those happen yet, but we're going to try. We're going to come up with something. So on the Chick Brew shirt, what would your number be?
3.
Why 3?
I had 2 soccer jerseys when I played soccer, 3 and 11.
I'm going to go with 68. 68's my favorite number.
Of course it is. Giant child.
and if you don't know why 68's my favorite number, you're going to have to figure that out in the comments. Ladies and gentlemen, I remind you today, as I remind you all the time, just be the best person that you can be. And if you were a great person today, be an even better person tomorrow.
And don't forget that you are loved.
Thank you for listening to T-Bone and Chick Brew. If you enjoyed that show, you should check out the Darrell McLean Show, independent media that won't reinforce tribalism. We have one planet and nobody's leaving, so let's reason together. You can find the Darrell McLean Show at the same place you actually listen to this show. Give it a shot.
I'm going to take my puppy outside now.
Enjoy.